I never thought the people who were supposed to love me the most would be the ones to bury me alive with their words. My name is Anna, and this is the story of how my own family told the entire world I was a failure, and how the moment his new fiancée looked at me, her face drained of all color. I grew up in a big family home in the suburbs of Chicago. From the outside, we looked perfect. My father ran a successful construction company. My mother was the elegant hostess everyone admired. My older sister Millie was the golden child, the one who followed every rule and made the family proud. And then there was me, the younger daughter who was always told she was too ambitious for her own good. I was 24 when this nightmare began. I had just completed my MBA with distinction from a top university. While most girls in our circle were getting engaged and settling down, I wanted to build something of my own. I had this dream of starting a digital marketing agency that would help small American brands grow online. I worked day and night on my business plan. I even won a small startup grant from a women's entrepreneurship program. For the first time, I felt like my life was truly mine. That's when David came into the picture. We had known each other since college. He was kind, ambitious, and really saw me. Not as someone's daughter or sister, but as Anna, the girl with fire in her eyes. One evening, as we sat on the bench in the park near campus, he took my hand and said softly, "Anna, I've never met anyone like you. Most people just want the safe path, but you make me believe in bigger things." I smiled, my heart racing. "David, I want a partner who supports my dreams, not someone who tries to shrink them. Do you really mean that?" He looked into my eyes. "I do. I want to marry a woman with her own identity, her own fire. We'll build something real together." Our families knew each other casually, and for a few beautiful months, we allowed ourselves to dream about a future together. I believed every word. But my family had other plans. I still remember the evening everything started cracking. I was sitting in our family living room, excitedly showing my father the first client contract I had signed. Instead of pride, I saw something cold in his eyes. "Anna, honey, this is all very cute," he said, not even looking at the papers. "Girl's real success is in her marriage. Stop wasting time on this laptop business." My mother joined in. "Look at your sister Millie. She's settled. You're already 24. People have started talking." Millie laughed from the corner. "Yeah, who's going to marry a girl who thinks she's some big CEO? Their words stung, but I told myself they would come around once they saw results. I had no idea they had already started rewriting my story behind my back. I should have noticed the signs earlier. The way relatives suddenly stopped asking about my work. The strange silence whenever David's name came up. The way my mother would change the topic whenever I entered the room. A shadow was growing, but I was too busy building my dreams to see it. Little did I know, my family had already decided my fate, and they were willing to destroy me to make sure I followed it. Everything changed in the month that followed. One afternoon, I came home early from a client meeting, excited to share that my agency had just landed its biggest project yet. The house was unusually quiet. I walked into the living room and froze. My mother, father, and Millie were sitting with David's mother and aunt. The atmosphere felt thick, heavy. As soon as they saw me, everyone went silent. David's mother gave me a strange, pitying look before quickly looking away. That night, David called me. His voice was different, distant, unsure. "Anna, my family is saying things about you. That you failed your MBA. That you've been pretending to run a business, but it's all lies. That you're not stable." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My hands started shaking. "David, that's not true. You know it's not true. I graduated with honors. My agency is growing. Why would they say that? Did you even ask them where this is coming from?" He sighed heavily. "Your own sister told my mother that you've been struggling, that you had to hide your failure results. She said the family is worried about your future. Anna, I don't know what to believe anymore. Everything feels so confusing." "David, listen to me," I pleaded, tears filling my eyes. "Millie and my parents never wanted me to succeed on my own. They've been against my business from day one. You saw how hard I worked. You saw the late nights. How can you doubt me like this?" There was a long pause. "I want to believe you, Anna, but my parents are pressuring me. They say a stable marriage needs a stable partner. Maybe we need some time apart while I figure this out." Those words broke something inside me. "Time apart after everything you promised. You said you wanted a woman with dreams, David. Was that all just talk?" "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I need to think." I confronted my family that same night. The shouting match that followed still echoes in my bones. "You are humiliating this family," my father roared. "No daughter of mine will run around like that, chasing clients. We have already spoken to better proposals for you. Traditional girls, girls who know their place. My mother cried, but not for me. What will people say, Anna? You're making us a joke. Millie smirked. Stop acting like a victim. We told them the truth that you're not capable. It's for your own good. I stood there, shaking, watching the people I loved turn into strangers. They didn't just oppose my dreams. They actively destroyed my reputation to control me. The next few weeks were pure hell. David started distancing himself. His family officially ended any talks of marriage. Within a month, I heard through mutual friends that he had gotten engaged to a girl named Emily, a quiet, well-mannered girl from another prominent family. The betrayal cut deeper than I can describe, not just from him, but from my own blood. They had painted me as a failure, a liar, a burden. At family gatherings, relatives would give me sympathetic looks. Poor Anna, she tried, but you know. Whispers followed me everywhere. I stopped leaving my room. I would cry for hours, then sit staring at the wall in silence. My business suffered because I couldn't focus. Clients sensed something was wrong. Some even pulled out after hearing rumors about my credibility. I felt invisible, shattered, completely broken. But in the deepest part of that darkness, something inside me began to shift. One night, after another humiliating dinner where my father announced in front of everyone that I would soon be settled properly, I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were swollen, but behind the pain, there was a spark. I whispered to my reflection, they want me to fail. I will make sure their lies become their biggest regret. That was the moment I decided I was done being their victim. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I simply disappeared from their narrative. I moved out of the family house with whatever savings I had left. I rented a small apartment in the city. It was nothing fancy, one bedroom, noisy neighbors, but it was mine. For the first time, no one was watching my every move. The next 2 years became the hardest and most powerful years of my life. I woke up at 5 a.m. every day. I rebuilt my agency from zero. I reached out to every contact I had. I worked on weekends, on holidays, during late nights with my laptop glowing in the dark. I took on small projects, then bigger ones. I learned everything I could about branding, social media algorithms, and client psychology. Slowly, painfully, my business started growing again. I rebranded everything. New name, new website, new story. I stopped hiding who I was. Instead, I started sharing my journey quietly on LinkedIn and Instagram, not as a victim, but as a woman who refused to stay down. Success didn't come overnight, but it came. By the end of the second year, my agency had 12 full-time employees. We were working with major brands across the country and even some international clients. I was invited to speak at women's entrepreneurship events. My name started appearing in local business magazines, but I never posted anything personal. I never bragged. I wanted my work to speak. Then came the day that changed everything. It was my cousin's wedding, the biggest event our family had hosted in years. I almost didn't go, but something inside me said it was time. I wore a simple but elegant ivory dress. My hair was styled perfectly. I walked into that lavish hall with my head high. The moment I entered, I felt hundreds of eyes on me. The same relatives who had pitied me 2 years ago now looked confused. Some whispered, some smiled awkwardly. I was standing near the stage talking to an old professor of mine when I saw them, David, and beside him Emily, his fiancée. She was beautiful, wearing elegant jewelry, looking every bit the perfect bride-to-be. David looked older, a little tired. Our eyes met for a brief second. He looked away quickly. But Emily. She kept staring. Then someone from the stage called my name. And now, a few words from our successful entrepreneur and tonight's special guest, Anna Smith, founder of Lumina Strategies, who has taken the digital marketing world by storm. The hall erupted in applause. I walked up to the microphone calmly. I gave a short, powerful speech about resilience, about women who are told they can't, and how they must prove the world wrong. I didn't mention my family. I didn't need to. When I stepped down, Emily was standing right there as if waiting for me. Her face had gone completely white. Her hands were trembling. You're Anna, she whispered. The same Anna they said failed everything, the one who was unstable, the one who lied about her business. I looked at her gently. Yes, that's me. Tears filled her eyes. She glanced back at David, who was watching from a distance, his face pale too. Then she looked back at me with something like horror. Horror at realizing she had been fed lies. Horror at understanding what kind of family she was marrying into. I don't know what to say, she stammered. They told us so many things. My parents, they said I was saving David from a bad match. I didn't feel anger in that moment. I felt peace. I simply touched her arm lightly and said, You still have time to choose your own story. Don't let anyone write it for you. Weeks later, David reached out. He showed up at a coffee shop where I sometimes worked. He looked nervous as he sat across from me. Anna, I owe you an apology. I was wrong. I should have trusted you instead of listening to them. I looked at him calmly. David, you promised to stand by me. When they attacked my character, you disappeared. You chose the easier story they created. He leaned forward, voice low. I know. I regretted it every day. Emily, she's postponing the wedding. She keeps asking questions now. I told her the truth, that I made a mistake believing the rumors. I nodded slowly. I didn't succeed to take revenge on you, David. I succeeded to prove to myself that I was never the failure they said I was. Your loss was never my gain. My growth was. He swallowed hard. I still care about you. Maybe we could. No, I said firmly but kindly. That chapter is closed. I hope you find your own peace. I never looked back. Today, I live in a beautiful home I bought with my own money. My mother sometimes calls, her voice softer now, carrying regret. My father stays silent. Millie avoids me completely. I don't hate them anymore. I've learned that some people break your heart not because they are evil, but because they are limited. And I've learned the most powerful revenge isn't loud. It isn't cruel. It's becoming the woman they said you could never be and living it so brightly that their lies can no longer hide in the shadows. If you're listening to this and you're going through your own betrayal by family, by love, by the world, I want you to hear me. Your worth was never theirs to decide. Rise quietly. Work fiercely. And one day, the same people who tried to bury you will watch you shine so brightly that they won't be able to look away. And when that moment comes, you won't need to say a word. Your success will speak everything. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. This is Anna. And I finally found my voice.